This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, Moon Knight episode 4 review. It's a big twist episode.
Geek boner.
Plus, Netflix has a very bad day. Ezra Miller arrested again.
What?
All that and more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, April 25th, 2022.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talk it, we heard it. We funny, disturb it. We talk it, we heard it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah.
Oh, what's up, listener? How's it going? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And joining us, the new majority shareholder of Twitter, it's Elon Rugboy. What's up, Rugs?
Call me Imran's Musk.
Imran's Musk. Oh, I should bottle that.
Yeah,
I shall bottle that, put it on the shelf
It's
right away.
wafting in my direction.
Listen, my pheromones make people do crazy things.
They jump out the window.
I thought you would talk funny like the Elon Musk because he has a weird speech
How does he
pattern.
talk?
He just has a weird speech pattern.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
How does he? Yeah, his speech pattern is very, very strange.
How would you even describe it? It's like it's
It's a lot of pause. It's like
yeah, in wrong places.
The time when they're sometimes when I think about things,
Yes.
it's like what?
Like when he was on SNL, it was some of the most awkward line delivery I've ever heard. But some of the sketches, they use that and it worked. But the other time, I'm like, Elon,
Yeah.
can't even read lines. Jesus. Anyways, he owns Twitter, so everything should be fixed now, right? Everyone's going to be friendly.
I don't know. What do you think
I
is
don't
going to
know.
happen? He said he's going to get rid of the bots, which I think is a good idea. I think bots are bad.
Bots are bad. Yeah, he says he's gonna get rid of that. Privatize the company.
Yeah.
So and then not limit free speech.
What does that mean? You could just say whatever you want?
I don't know. I don't know what his. I haven't really looked into his platform on Twitter.
Do you have a stance on free speech? Do you think it should be limited, or do you think it should be unlimited, like Elon Musk says?
I think if Twitter is a company Twitter is not government, so you can, if whoever's running the company can put limits on speech or not. The only drawback to that is when a company such as Twitter is so pervasive in influencing culture, it's hard to, even though they're a private company and they can say we don't enable, we can do whatever we want as far as speech.
Well, they're a public company.
Yeah, they're a public company, but I'm saying public, private, they're a company.
Right.
They're not limited by the rules of what the Constitution says, but they still have a lot of influence. So it's a tricky situation. I prefer free speech rather than limiting speech, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what Elon says.
It's like the way that you can. The reason how I think about free speech is that there are people that, and they're right to think this, that you have to watch what people say, because especially when it's dangerous, like misinformation and blah blah blah, and hate speech and all that stuff. But then the problem is like, yeah, we all don't want that stuff out there, but then who is the purveyor of that? Who do you trust to sit there and come up with these rules? And are they arbitrary? Are they enforced evenly? Is there something some people can say and other people, so
It's a
that's where I
double-edged
get.
sword. Yeah.
I think, of course, you should have some limitations, but it's always about who's the master of that, and it's a huge responsibility. You got to do it right, just like the news, just in like the news in general. Like a lot of these news companies, they have this responsibility to report news, but it's mostly opinion.
Yeah.
So
it's a tough job.
So free speech is it's a loaded thing. Like there's no way like Elon's going to figure it out. It's going to be a shit show.
He might be able to do it better, but I mean, yeah, there are definitely. I prefer free speech for sure, but you definitely can't say anything. You can't like write on Twitter how you're going to kill a bunch of people. But whoever's running that, whoever's going to be monitoring that, it's a tough job because speech. There's innuendo. There's different languages. There's all sorts of sarcasm. That needs to be detected and sniffed out. And then whoever's running that also has to evolve with the times, because there are things you could say
Right.
5 years ago that
Yeah.
you can't say now.
It's always changing.
Right.
Language is changing.
And like the people that challenge, like the people that are potentially against the majority and are saying things in the minority, those voices also are voices that throughout history have been shut down, but then also were purveyors of innovation and change as well. So it's tough. I think it's a tough fucking job.
It's not this easy thing that you can just do. And people act like it's just, it's so obvious, but like it's really not. So
Right.
Elon's going to have a tough time. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not sure why he wanted that job, but good for him, I guess.
I don't think anything happens. I think he inflates the stock price and then dumps it and makes money and moves on to the next thing. He's apparently promised money to a lot of people for a lot of things and not always come through. He just likes to say, yeah, I'll give you all this money. Listen, if it wasn't for free speech, they would have shut our ass down years ago. So I, for one, am for free speech also.
Yeah.
Because we can say whatever the fuck we want on a RSS feed that is not monitored by anybody and there's no rules. So that's kind of amazing. It's not Twitter.
Yeah. It's up to us to censor ourselves.
Great power comes great responsibility. Yeah. That's okay. This is not a free speech podcast. That's over at Dig on America. If you want to check them out. Let's get to promoting somebody else. Let's get to some news topics, though.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
You can say whatever you want here, guys. I won't censor you, but you won't know since you guys don't listen.
Can I say Gipple?
You could say Gipple. You could say Bloom Bloom. You could say Booty Booty. But you don't even know if I censor you because you don't listen to the edited show. I could cut out all the things.
Can I say Sasshole?
Yes, you can say Sasshole. Nothing wrong with that.
Is that like a William Sasso type thing?
The Sasshole.
You remember William Sasso?
Yeah, from Mad TV, right?
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Can I say Kachina?
You could say, yes. You could say
William
Bazinga.
Sasso was the Curly, I think, in the Three Stooges remake,
yeah,
which was absolutely awful.
You know what? I kind of enjoyed that Three Stooges treatment.
I like that we're calling him William Sasso.
It's Will Sasso.
Bill, actually. No,
Bill, you know him on a first name basis.
Yeah.
Love the
first
Will
name,
Sasso.
nickname. Yeah.
Mad TV.
Shout out to Big Will.
Remember Mad TV. So
nice. You probably remember Mad Magazine. You probably reading that.
I have Mad Magazines. I ran across some of my old ones. I was like, oh shit, look at this Mad Magazine from back in the day.
What were the two impressions that they definitely can't do now? Miss
Swan?
Miss Swan.
No, wait, because that was done by a non-Asian person, wasn't it? That's right.
Well, that was a super Korean caricature.
Yeah.
And then there was the blonde girl that would do. I think she was like a mentally disabled chick.
Was she? She was a little awkward.
She was like she'd always like mumble her words out.
Yeah.
She had like bad ponytails.
Oh, I'm sure there's way more than that.
Oh yeah, those are just the two that I thought of off the top.
I mean, think about like In Living Color too. All those crazy characters. I don't know if you can pull those off anymore. Yeah.
Wanda.
Time is different. Yeah. Jamie Foxx.
Wanda.
Anyways, what we're here to talk. I just have two things in the news for this week. Two big stories of the week. Two things. All right. The first one is about the streaming wars because Netflix last week had kind of a very, very, very bad day. And if you had Netflix stock or were an employee of Netflix with stock options, you also felt this bad day. Basically, what happens is they come out with their first quarter numbers revealing that Netflix lost about 200,000 subscribers.
Oh shit!
In the first quarter, and
worldwide or just in America?
I think this is worldwide because
that's not that much.
They did pull out of Russia when that war started, right? But they also said they expect to lose like another 2 million.
Yeah, it's the start of a downtrend.
Still a drop in the bucket for Netflix.
And then summarily, instantly, their stock drops about 35% in one day.
Yeah, that's just people like freaking out over that non-news.
They lost $54 billion in market value.
Wow.
In one day.
54 billion, yeah.
Because of 2 million people, they have like 100 million people.
What? Yeah. Well, they have what? They have over 200 million subscribers.
It's nothing.
So
I think the thing is, I don't think they've been. This is the first time they've had where they're not growing
since 2004. The first stock trade off and the first dip in subscribers in a long time.
Yeah, but you just said they reach market saturation.
So these are my questions to you guys. Should Netflix be freaking out? Should the streaming companies be freaking out? Or is this a market correction? Was Netflix overvalued? Just for shits and giggles, look, here's where the stock was the day before, $348 a share, Tuesday, April 19th. The next day, it dips to $246, and it is, in the last 5 days, it has gone down another 37%. It's at 209 right now, and people are expecting it to continue to plummet. When it had just peaked, if you look at this stock chart, it had just peaked in 2021, in last year at its highest. It was at $690.
Well, here's why, Ruggs, why I think it's not good for Netflix is they're not really making money. They've been still hemorrhaging cash on creating new content. So that strategy of just throwing as much content against
shit
the wall,
at the wall, yes,
it's now they're not growing. So they're losing money now. By people dropping off, they're losing money, and they're still losing money overall. So I think that's what the concern.
No, you're
here.
right about that. But what I'm saying is that, like, it's something that was a foregone conclusion.
Sure.
Like, in the world where Netflix was first, and they were the only ones putting streaming stuff out there.
That's what's
and
crazy. Yeah.
Had the business model and stuff.
Yeah.
They went worldwide. They have a really far reach. They're like way ahead of all the other ones. Now, these other apps can catch up, but Netflix still has the market share. So they can change their business model. And I think that's the bigger problem is they start putting ads on this shit.
Well, that's going to be their first steps to do something, right?
If they're cracking down on people's password sharing.
Reed Hastings in the past has said, we don't care about passwords. We're never going to have ads on their service.
They should have added some kind of limit. But
now they're going to crack down on passwords and they're going to introduce
what's the for the password sharing? What is the... Basically, how many users can jump on? 6, is it? Or
per account, how many...
it depends, right? How much and how much you're paying a month? Right.
4. You can have up to 4 screens playing at the same time at their top level, right?
Yeah.
So, but they're saying for every, doesn't that cut into their actual numbers if every household is sharing it with 3 other people? Well, so meaning... The Netflix market has been saturated. It's everybody who's going to get Netflix now has Netflix. There's no more people because
they're sharing it.
Right. You either pay for it or you have your cousin's, nephew's, sister's, brother's password.
Right. And, people should be paying for the service. It's not that expensive. I think adding ads is going to be a really big problem.
Well, and their slow price increase has now made them one of the higher price.
How much are they now?
It's like $15 a month, I think.
Yeah, HBO Max was the most expensive, and I think that Netflix is creeping up on them. So,
and the irony that
HBO doesn't have ads.
The OG, the people who came up with the model, the disruptors, the original disruptors themselves are now getting disrupted because they are seeing great competition from HBO Max, from Disney Plus, from Hulu. There's quality shit on a lot of these services now, right? Amazing catalogs.
Yeah, Netflix
has tons of shit up on there.
Quantity over quality.
Yeah, so I think they're going to have to flip that around and start to... They spent $18 billion a year on content that largely just gets buried because they're making so many... I'm watching a show called Is That Cake? It's actually very entertaining, and it's basically they found these people with a specific set of skills. They can make cake look like anything. So there's 5 cheeseburgers, and the judges have to guess which one of them is cake. This is the show that's on Netflix, but it's kind of entertaining. But the point is, there's so much shit on there, and you never know what to watch. And HBO... just having that name, any HBO Max original, is going to be quality, and they've got a lot of great shit going. Apple TV Plus, the fact that Apple TV Plus beat them to a Best Picture Oscar has got to really sting Netflix because that's all they've wanted for years. They've been trying to get that shit, and Apple TV fucking beat them to it in their third year.
Well, they were always racing because they were always trying to invest in some sort of. They only needed 1 or 2 things every month to be
to be a hit.
water cooler.
Yeah.
So that people could keep renewing or adding Netflix on. And at some point, Ruggs is right. I'm sure someone in there had to have foreseen that at some point the train was going to stop in terms of growth, and you needed to pivot to other revenue strategies. So the ad thing, I think. Listen, I think we've been in kind of a state here with streaming where we've been kind of used to no ads now.
Spoiled, yeah.
But ads were always a big part of television and a big part of revenue for TV networks. And at some point, when you're paying the price point that we're paying for streamers for $15 or less, there's only so many heads before you gotta find other ways to make money. So I think ads are on the way. I think ads, maybe not commercials, but like an ad tier and all that.
Yeah.
I think that it's okay to have ads as long as it improves everything. Like, that's a sacrifice. That, like, the reason why Hulu costs nothing is because you have ads.
Yeah. A lot of ads.
Peacock costs nothing because you got ads.
Yeah.
So
it's a trade-off.
Yeah, so
also, like you said, Anthony, they're banking on their hits, their franchises. A lot of their big franchises are coming to an end.
but they keep canceling everything.
They cancel shit, and like Stranger Things has got another season left. Cobra Kai, maybe another season left. Ozarks has ended. All their big shows.
They canceled
are ending.
Narcos today.
They did?
Yeah.
Are you serious? So they're canceling a lot of animation projects. They're now going to be. Here's the other crazy thing: is it was well known among people who pitch TV shows that if you had an idea, Netflix was your first fucking stop because they would give you money for anything.
Well, that's another thing that Netflix probably will do, is that they're going to have to be a little bit more mindful of the projects they invest in.
Yeah.
That's obviously not good for all the creators out there because that's less things that they can do. But if you want to keep the business alive, throwing money at everything, taking that model and just being the everything to everyone.
It worked for a little bit.
Yeah, they got to pivot, and we'll see where it goes.
They need to curate their content more. They need to invest in their content more. They need to stick with it. Like I can name like a bunch of different series.
Jupiter's Legacy. How much money did that cost? And they kill it before it even as soon as it comes out.
It was starting. People were starting to talk about it, and then all of a sudden they cut it off at the legs.
Yeah,
like, they want to cancel. They should have waited a year and let people think it was going to keep going. But they literally canceled it while it was on.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to watch it then? Oh, what's the point of watching this shit? It should, like, you can't just cancel the show as it comes out because then no one's going to want to watch it. Because there's no point.
Let me throw in a fun poll from our Facebook group. Not scientific at all. David Zika threw this up. Very good question. What service/channel do you watch the most? Let me ask you guys right now, what streamers do you find yourself going to most often today?
Paramount Plus and HBO Max right now.
See, Netflix is not on that list, is it?
No, it's third, yeah.
Anthony, what is the thing you pull up? And Disney,
but it's mostly. It's not like I have a loyalty to one. It's whatever at this point in my streaming life, I just look up what I want to watch and I go
where things are.
Where is it at?
Yeah.
And I just go to that.
Okay, let's see. This is a better question. What app has the most shows that you watch currently?
Yeah, on a regular basis,
so it's HBO Max for me.
HBO Max might be the one, but Apple TV Plus got a bunch of great things. Paramount Plus, I'm watching one thing. And then Netflix, you pop into when something is buzzy, but like only then.
I can answer for my mom. My mom is probably on Netflix and Paramount Plus the most.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus has a lot of great movies, though. They got a lot of great shit on there. So the lead vote getters in our unscientific poll, top of the list, Disney Plus, followed by Netflix, then HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus. We got one Crunchyroll and one Curiosity Stream. I don't even know what those are. I know Crunchyroll. I don't know Curiosity Stream.
They're a science thing.
But in this day and age, to be a streamer and to keep your publicity up or keep the awareness up, it's very hard. You have to keep churning out quality shit.
What's really gonna, I think, happen is this streaming war is just starting.
Yeah,
we're still in the first or second inning, but there's not enough room for all these guys.
No.
So at some point, this is all going to kind of shake out, and whoever's left is going to probably bundle up and just become your new There's
Cable.
going to be like 2 or 3 streamers, and they're going to have all the content. It's going to be like old school ABC, CBS, NBC. There's only going to be like 2 or 3. That would be my prediction because there's too much right now.
What's the number that you think would be good?
3, 2 or 3.
There's like easily 12 to 15.
Like
Yeah,
I would
there's so many.
I would want at least 5.
Well, I would say 2 or 3, but they all have like a gigantic variety of stuff. They're all like Netflix, but with also mainstream properties.
I feel like with 3, it's almost like it's too limiting in competition. I got to spread it out a little more.
I know Ruggs is old enough. Anthony, are you old enough to remember when there were only a handful of channels you could watch?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, we had like 5 channels.
Yeah, there was maybe, and that was enough. Like there was literally like 3 network channels, a public station
Imran.
channel.
What are you talking about? You're old enough to remember when everything was played on the radio.
But it was, oh my God, they made radio into live action. This is amazing. They turned
Talkies.
They made
Yeah.
talkies. I remember when movies used to be silent, and that's the way we liked it. I don't need to hear your voice. I can read just fine.
You got someone doing the sound effects live in the background.
This guy that player piano and like two
piano and a
coconuts.
giant elephant that they're smacking in the ass.
Yes. He's got like a wobbly board for thunder and 2 coconuts for the horse sounds.
You had CBS.
Yep.
You had NBC. You had Fox.
And then you had ABC.
Fox was
ABC,
new age.
Fox is kind of newer.
UPN and then you had the Warner Brothers network, right?
And then you had like your public broadcasting network,
So you had
right?
7 at most.
But those were even later. Like for the longest time, there was just 3 networks. But I always thought it's going to come back to like a cable or a TV schedule consolidation. Like it's going to come back to where it started, even though the streamers are trying to disrupt this. But it's a lot. There's so much. There's literally in April, the last 2 weeks of April, there is 100 new premieres of TV shows.
Oh, shit.
Released. There's no way you could keep up with all this.
like, yeah, and there's not a demand for it either.
No. And in a lot of
Like,
cases,
because
there
nobody
isn't.
can watch. Like, who's watching all of this content?
There's shows
There's a lot.
coming out with huge casts that like are just getting buried that nobody even pays attention to because and there's good stuff that nobody's watched. So yeah,
It's definitely too much content and too many. It can be confusing. So yeah, I mean, we'll see.
and this is what we wanted, but too much of a good thing can be too much of.
I mean, we
good
definitely
thing.
I like having. Don't get me wrong. I like having everything at my fingertips
Yeah.
and being able to watch things when I want to watch them. Like I don't want to go back to cable when
Yeah.
I'm looking at TV Guide and wondering, oh, is it 9:00 yet?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm going to watch this.
yeah.
So it's better, but yeah, I mean, there's just too many streamers. Netflix at some point was going to stop growing, and they lost a lot of the IP that they had.
Yeah,
So
that's right. Let's not forget things were taken away once
Friends.
other IP started their own streamers and took their IP. So then they had to make more shitty fucking half-ass programming, throw everything at the wall. And now you see that like their catalog
But
shows
they're not
are
even
gone.
sticking to what their brand. Like, why would you buy Miller World
and right.
and then not support the IP that you bought?
Like not have faith and like give it another season. Let's see if they
like,
can
okay,
correct
it's
this.
expensive, but like, okay, figure out
just
how to
fucking
make the budget work.
Wasting money, just
or
wasting
get rid
money.
of a bunch of other shows that are worse and pump up that show, make it even better.
You know, they're going to compete with Amazon's Lord of the Ring trilogy that costs fucking $500 million to make. There's other things that are coming back that are giving them a run for their money. So Netflix has to do something. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if it's like it's not the sky is falling situation for them, but it's definitely an
I don't
eye
think
opener.
it's like that big of a deal. I think they didn't lose that many people. I just think that okay, they have to start doing something different because they're not growing. And I think the 2 things that they're proposing, I don't know about having ad revenue. I think that's a bad idea, and now it makes it less desirable. But I do think limiting the password sharing, it's a no-brainer. Like, yeah, they should, anybody who uses the service should at least pay the bare minimum to have it, you know? And that would, I guarantee you, there's probably a good 15% of people not paying for it.
I mean, they would make a lot more revenue right away just with that forcing that on them. Is this a good time, Anthony, to buy Netflix stock? We are looking at 2018. This last time it was this low was in 2018.
No, because they're going to lose. They're on pace to still lose more.
Oh, it's still going.
More people are.
It's still going to go down.
Yeah, I think it's still going to go down.
Fuck.
Yeah, this kind of news, it doesn't shift around that fast.
So maybe wait. Does it rebound anywhere to its $690 level?
Depends what kind of pivots they make as far as
that's insanely high.
Could be that 600 could have been their apex. I mean,
It looks like that. It looks like if you look at the 5-year line, like that's the peak. And
like what would get people to come back? You need good stuff.
Oh, that's definitely if you look at their whole lifetime, that's the highest it's ever been.
Netflix porn.
Oh, porn.
Now with
it's a different
porn.
crowd.
Netflix now with porn, 100% increase in subscribers. Yes, I think that's key. All right. Anyways,
You can find that free. You don't need Netflix.
that's a good point.
Of course.
It's got to be like 3D.
I just was trying to think of what could do it.
The good stuff, like the porn where you get good actors and actresses.
Or maybe it's like a reality porn game show, and you can vote on.
Oh, geez.
I don't know what it would take for it to be. I don't know. I mean, Disney's got the major IP. It's got all of the fucking IP that everybody knows.
Yep.
So what can Netflix do? It has to find a new IP. It has to find something that people don't even know it's a diamond in the rough.
I mean,
is make it into something.
Is The Witcher doing anything for them? I don't know.
I like The Witcher a lot.
Yeah,
I do. I think it's very good. And I think that I think that all their shows that they tried to make were at least had promise. Like even Jupiter's Legacy, like that had promise. It could have been better. They just stumbled out of the gate. So they could have done something with that.
They hit a wall. They definitely hit a wall hard. It's surprising that it happened so quickly, and
they misfired with it. But like, I don't know. I would have retooled it and kept it going.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people in the group also mentioning they have canceled their Netflix subscription, and a lot of people do the thing where they just sign up when the show is out, and then they cancel and they get out. So there's also those.
Well, you're going to deal with that all the time.
Yeah. But now,
what Netflix wanted to get to a level where it's just literally like you're subscribed and you don't even realize you're paying for it.
Right,
anymore.
you just keep paying for it.
Yeah.
But people are now they're more aware because they're paying for 8, 9, 10 streaming services, right? So they're going to be more aware of what's coming out of their bank account every month. And
what if they do something where they give you a package where you can buy 6 months and you save like $20?
Oh,
I think they do that, don't they? A lot of streamers do something like that.
like in a bulk.
But don't we do that?
Oh, we did that initially with Disney Plus offered a deal. I think when they started, these deals were around. It was like first 3 years.
Well, I think I read something too. Might have been in our group, but it probably was in our group. So whoever said this, kudos to you. I don't remember who said it, but you're going to start to see the real numbers come out for a lot of these streamers because a lot of these streamers bundled up their packages with other things.
Right, with a phone.
For instance, Apple with the phone. Disney was doing stuff with, I think, Verizon.
Yeah.
So a lot of these numbers might be overinflated.
AT&T gives you free HBO Max.
Correct.
Stuff like that. There's
a lot of people getting these streamers for free, basically.
Yeah.
And we'll see when it comes.
I wouldn't count Netflix out yet.
Yeah, no, I think I'm not going to count them out because, again, they have things like...
they're a meme.
Yeah.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah. This is the OG, man.
It depends on how they do this ad thing. If they do it like where it's annoying, like every fucking 10 minutes is a fucking ad, then no. If they just run one ad in the front, then that's fine.
If they don't have one, they need a very smart, savvy business person because I think Netflix can stick around, but remember Business Wars, Imran?
Yep.
Netflix and Blockbuster. We all thought Blockbuster was never always going to be around.
And now what's
went away.
amazing is Netflix finds itself in the position Blockbuster was in their war a little bit.
Sure.
Which is crazy how the pendulum has swung all back. So, yeah. Listener, let us know. Do you still have a Netflix account? What's your favorite streamer? Join our Facebook group. It's called the Jock and Nerd Nation. There's a link in the show description. It is a closed, exclusive group just for you guys, just for you listening right now. It's where I post Moon Knight spoiler threads and movie spoiler threads when they come out, so you can geek out spoil away and hang out. Okay. The other big news story last week, maybe not a surprise. Ezra Miller arrested again in Hawaii.
The fuck?
Yeah, I gotta give him.
Oh, shit.
Again? This is the third time?
This is the second or third time.
Second time
Fuck's
within
sake,
weeks.
man, you're amateur.
I got a lot. I don't know. Is he this time? He threw a chair at someone and put a gash in this girl's head.
Probably deserved it.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
probably.
Oh, shit.
What did you say? He?
They. Sorry, they.
I was gonna say he goes by they, so please
threw
respect his
a
pronouns.
chair at someone, and this isn't their. Obviously, we talked about the previous arrest at the karaoke bar. They did not enjoy the karaoke. So my question is, does he need help? Should we be looking for help? What is Warner Brothers doesn't seem to really care much. They're still not freaking out about this, but you got to imagine it continues to be a bigger PR nightmare for them. He doesn't have any movies coming out except for The Flash. He was
Imran.
Sorry, I keep forgetting. They were just in the Fantastic Beasts,
Or just
3.
refer to Ezra as Ezra.
Ezra.
So, yeah.
Ezra is breaking down a little bit. I just think it's kind of it's very public, but multiple levels. Does Warner Brothers now do something about them? Would you, if you were Warner Brothers?
I think what Warner Brothers is doing is they're just going, let's just see how this plays out, because as they state, we got a lot of time.
So,
and yeah,
can I ask?
I think you get them support.
Can I ask a different question?
Yeah. What's the other question?
So let's say the pressure's on and the WB does something. What do you think the headlines are? Is it going to be a full wall of hate for WB
It might
for
be
turning its back on a marginalized person?
that they abandoned him and didn't get him help when he was
They abandoned them.
them. Sorry, fuck. It's so
Did
hard.
not help them, Imran.
Did not help them when they were crying out for help.
Yes.
Clearly.
Or is it good riddance?
I mean, we all have discussed how they may not be the best choice to play the Flash. But they are a good performer. They are a good actor in other things, I believe.
Ezra's a good actor.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, definitely, for WB. I think, first of all, on Ezra, he definitely needs something. He needs help. There's something going on with him, whether he can't control his alcohol or he is easily irritated. Something's going on with that guy, because he's got a target on their back.
It's really hard to do.
It is very hard. It's very hard. It's very hard to remember Ezra's pronouns. Yeah. But yeah, I think they gotta.
I'm just laughing at Anthony struggling.
I don't mean to laugh. It's just
we're trying.
We've been speaking for a long time a certain way.
We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying.
But change is hard sometimes. That's all.
They need to get help. They need to do something. Ezra needs to do something.
What is going through?
I don't know if WB should be doing that for Ezra.
Yeah. The people around Ezra.
If they want to, it's not the worst thing in the world for your employer to try and help you out, but yeah, someone else. I mean, someone's got to talk to him. Maybe Ezra's going to go to jail, so that'll be his wake up call. I don't know.
This bond was only like $500 for the first thing, but for them to do something so soon after a public arrestment, just a few days earlier, a week earlier, that's weird. There's something going on. That's very concerning. Like
there's obviously some kind of unraveling happening.
There's at least a lack of social awareness that's going on, where Ezra doesn't really.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
Yeah, Ezra doesn't get it.
This also snowballs, right?
Yeah.
So the more shit that you do when you're out in public, the more shit that's going to come up, or you're going to be even more paranoid about shit coming up, even if it doesn't. Like, you're like, oh, it's because this is out in the news. Like, and all of a sudden you're on the defense, and before you know it, you're throwing a chair at somebody.
And yeah, I haven't read the situation here. There's just me speculating, but the more people think you're a loose cannon, the more they're going to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that is also a good point. And maybe they're just antagonizing them more wherever they are.
It's not a good situation. It's not good. They need to manage this shit. WB, get on this. This is a fucking quagmire.
Yeah, I think WB. I'll restate. I think change my opinion on this. I think WB should step in for their own sake and just at least make an attempt to. I'm not saying get rid of him, but at least have someone talk to their guys,
mitigate the problem.
Yeah, and at least offer like, hey, we're gonna. If you need counseling, if you need help, we'll recommend guys. We'll get you in the touch with the best people. We want to help you. Because we got to figure this out. We got to figure this shit out because we got a movie in like a year and a half that we got to promote.
We need people to come see this. I don't even know. If you recast it, I say you get put this movie out, but then try to recast this Flash as soon as you can.
Recasting isn't the worst thing in the world.
He finished this movie, let this movie get out, and then use the Flashpoint to recast everybody, even the Flash. And because there's lots of good choices you can have that probably are less trouble.
Yeah, probably.
But I hope he gets help. That's all I'm saying. Is that it's just like 2 in a row. What are you doing? What are you doing? In the meantime, listener, you can buy a T-shirt from us. Support the show. It's a hard transition.
It's going to support us.
Support us. By supporting,
as we go through tough times.
Yes, we all go through things. Support us by supporting yourself and putting clothes on yourself with our logo or Rugboy Space. Visit jockandnerd.com/shop to visit our TeePublic shop. Pick up some swag. It's always there. It always looks good on you. We appreciate it. Take a quick break here. We play some promos, and we got a mind-bendy, twisty episode of Moon Knight to discuss right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey there, everyone. Brian here, host of TV Trivia Pod. It's a trivia-style podcast focusing on TV and movies. Listen in for questions like, what's the name of Michael Scott's screenplay? What do you say to view the Marauders map? And what's everyone eating in the post-credit scene of Avengers? Play along to TV Trivia Pod anywhere you get podcasts. And stay tuned for more trivia.
Have you ever been reading through a stack of comics and thought, maybe I should see what this Arkham Asylum game is all about? Or been playing Marvel vs. Capcom and felt like you were at a real disadvantage since you didn't know who half the characters were? Well, Play Comics is the show for you. I'm Chris, and each episode we take a look at video games based on comic properties and how well they stick to that source material. So whether you know the comics and want to know how all these games work, or you know the games and want to find out where all this craziness came from, go check out Play Comics at playcomics.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Doc and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy this show, it's a good time to join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
And you can support the show on a monthly or annual basis, and you get bonus things. You get access to an exclusive RSS feed where the shows come out early. Bonus content, post shows, instant reactions are posted there. It's not up now as we're recording, but by the time you hear this, hopefully, Anthony, your Escape from New York review will be up there. I forgot to put it up when he sent it in.
Oh, shit.
But that's the next piece of bonus content.
Oh, shit.
Son of a bitch.
Here, let me play this for myself. I was going to play this clip for Ezra Miller, but now with this fuck up, I'll play it for myself.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together.
That
I haven't heard that one in a long time.
That is relates to me and Ezra, really, if you think about it. So you get bonus content. You get access to our private monthly Discord hangout in our just for Patreon supporters. It's the third Thursday of every month. Date is in the show description or on our Patreon page. And there's a tier where you can pick and force us to watch and review any movie you want. It's the You Pick It tier. Lots of fun. We'll be doing more of those in the future. And some of them are just on the Patreon feed, that's why you want to sign up. Bonus content, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. So good. It sounds just like the soundboard. I was like, did I press the button? What happened? I didn't press. How did I? Okay. This week's review, we are up to episode 4 of Moon Knight on Disney Plus.
6.
4 of 6. 2/3 of the way done already. Quick show. Here is your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This one directed by the directing duo of Justin Benson, Aaron Moorhead. They have done a few, along with Mohammed Diab. Anthony, what happens in the tomb? Episode's titled The Tomb. We get to the tomb, but then
We get to the tomb.
we get some other shit too.
We left off at the last episode.
We lost.
We laughed. We cried. The last episode, Moon Knight, or Khonshu, turned back the sky, and because of that, Mark doesn't have any powers anymore. So Mark he knows where the tomb of Ahmed is, but he has no powers, and they're trying to get to the tomb of Ahmed, or the statue of Ahmed before Harrow's men do. And Harrow's men are there, and in the midst of going and finding the Ahmed statue, or whatever the fuck you call it,
Ushapti.
the Ushapti, we learn a little bit more about Steven's love for Layla,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more about Layla's dad,
Mm-hmm.
and we get a big twist ending. So we'll leave it at that.
Big twist.
Yeah, we'll dissect shortly.
Now, if you guys recall last week, I may have screamed several times something about, I don't think any of this is happening. And, well, we get some clues.
Maybe.
And I'm still, yes. Now the question becomes a little bit more complicated when we get to the big twist ending. But overall, Anthony, what did you think of the episode overall?
I enjoyed it. The Mummy / Indiana Jones vibes.
Yeah, Tomb Raider also.
Worked well. And I wrote down at the end, once we saw that ending, to my friends, I said, well, this show kind of took it up a different level now, because now each Marvel series there's always like an episode where they kind of switch things up. But this one at least puts you on your toes a little bit more than the normal switch ups.
Yeah.
It's not a reveal of a new character or anything. It's just, okay, is this now a very heady psychological series? So I enjoyed it. I think that twist ending, I don't know if I necessarily believe it's all in his head, but I like the fact that now everyone's kind of questioning everything, and I like the discourse around it. So I overall like the episode. And I thought, one quick thing to point out, I liked the interplay with Steve kind of being in control and Mark in the background, and then Steve confessing his love to Layla, and Layla kind of enjoying Steve. And my favorite part of the episode was when Steve admits to Layla right in the beginning that the reason Mark's hiding stuff from her is because he doesn't want Khonshu to take her as an avatar.
Yeah.
And he reveals that. And then I think Mark takes over for a half second and punches him in the face.
He does.
And I thought that was great.
Yeah, no, it's right after the kiss.
Yeah, he kisses her.
He kisses
it's an
her, right,
awkward fucking kiss, but he first tells her what you just said, and then he kisses her, and then Mark punches himself in the face a la Fight Club, which is fantastic.
It's very interesting to me that a woman would want to be with a dude with multiple personalities.
That is also a good point. Maybe I don't know, but she didn't know.
She looks like she's got her shit together and everything.
I'm not clear if she knew.
She was a mess too. Like in Fight Club, the girl was that that Tyler Durden was dating was a complete mess.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But this girl sounds like she's got her shit together. She's comes from a line of fucking adventurers. She doesn't need this shit. But yeah, it was an interesting episode. Where are we at? He reveals to her that Khonshu wants to take her over, and so that helps the relationship between the two. And they got this whole adventure sequence where they go in there and they're going after the tomb of Alexander and shit. It's a lot of fun stuff.
That zombie priest horror bit I thought that was a great kind of horror movie vibe, and it was it was
almost kind of Saw-esque.
Yeah, I was like, what?
With the guy getting cut up while she's trying to hide there.
Yeah, he's storing the dude's organs. I don't know if he was gonna. It was the mummification room. So,
right.
But I was like, what the fuck is that thing? And it fucking freaked me out. And even the beginning. So let's break it down a little bit from the beginning. This opening shot, it's upside down. that dude is walking the Ushapti of Khonshu, and it slowly spins. I love that. And then he puts him in this alcove, and it pulls back to reveal, I counted it, there's like 10 other fucking gods here that are being kept. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of war with the gods, the avatars we met, and those gods, and these gods, like, why is there 10 fucking gods trapped in stone here? Who are these people? Hilarious lines, right? When Stephen Grant is talking to Mark and he's confronting him, and he's like, "Are you in love with my wife now? Are you in love with my wife?" And then he's like, "If I need a recipe for a protein shake, I'll call you. Leave me alone." But then, like, he kisses her and then he gets punched. It's so funny. The sequence where they're in the cave, they realize it's like a maze. That's kind of cool. With the 6 points, the eye of Horus. Yeah, Alexander the Great. Anthony, you're a history buff. What does that mean that he finds the tomb of Alexander the Great? I wonder if that means anything more. The Great.
I believe, I'm not huge on Egyptian history, but I know Alexander the Great, I believe, conquered Egypt at one point. He's Macedonian.
Yeah.
And a lot of Egyptians somewhat consider Alexander a pharaoh, like an Egyptian. He's kind of Egyptian to them. They adopted him because of that. So you see a lot of the Macedonian markings. But I think the big thing there, reveal there, is the fact that Alexander the Great was Amit's avatar.
The last avatar of Amit, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the person that Harrow might have been referring to, or probably was referring to, as Amit had another avatar and betrayed them. So Alexander the Great was his avatar, or Amit's avatar, and at some point decided this wasn't right and betrayed her. So, and then that's probably where she gets stuck as the statue within his esophagus, I guess.
Yeah, he had to reach down.
Yeah. I guess that's significant in that they're kind of rewriting history and making it so that Alexander the Great was also buried in the pyramids, which we don't know if that's actually the case or not.
Yeah, I mean, are they in the pyramids? They're like some weird location. They're not even in a pyramid.
Sure.
So,
well, the pyramids were designed to be weird. Like, it wasn't a straight shot to find a tomb.
Right.
There was all sorts of different rooms. It was meant to mislead people that were trying to break in.
Which they knew people were going to steal shit.
Right.
The father bit. So Mark does come back and he tells her he was there when her father got murdered, but he didn't do it. Do we think it's like the third personality that maybe came out?
Yes, the third guy. Everybody knows
that did that. That actually killed her father. So
it could be the third guy,
or
the Bushman. But I've read online they wanted to avoid using the Bushman because the creators of this show thought he was too much like Killmonger.
Well, okay, I could see that.
So it could be a third. They might be doing the third personality route.
They completely refigured the Marlene character, which is Layla. Marlene is like a white woman, right? In the comics, she's a white woman. So now they made her an Egyptian person, and the father is an Egyptian archaeologist. So they're gonna, it's interesting to see where they're gonna go. But that's what I thought. I was like, he was there, but he meant that he was inside.
Should we just get to the good stuff?
Then Arthur Harrow shoots Steven/Mark twice in the chest, and he falls in shallow water at first. And I love this sequence because the camera.
But before that, Layla has a conversation with Mark, as you mentioned.
Yes, because she finally confronts him because Arthur finds her and tells her everything, causing her to go, causing him to spill the beans. But the shot where he's falling into like the sunken place, like in the fucking movie. And he,
like in Get Out.
In Get Out, yeah, he just falls into this darkness, and then it goes, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then he wakes up in this white, pristine. Oh no! Then it cuts to a 4:3 ratio, and a really cheesy looking adventure movie called Tomb Buster. Right, and you see this guy who is Dr. Stephen Grant, but he looks like Arthur Harrow. His name is Dr. Stephen Grant. He's all slick, and it's a lot like Raiders of the Lost Ark, the opening of that, right? Mm-hmm. Remember when the statues are coming out and the guy's following him, the guy's escorting him. But this guy's this smooth, suave, and then it reveals that this is on a television. They're watching a VHS tape. Mark is in this fucking white mental institute, and everybody's there, like in The Wizard of Oz. The whole cast of characters are either orderlies or their patients. Harrow is the doctor in this mental, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I love the little clues they have about everything that we've seen in his story. You see hints of that in this sequence. What else did you? What did it get you when this happened? What did you think?
We kind of experienced this already with Legion.
It's very Legion, yes. It reminded me of Legion.
We're all in the mental institution, and you don't know what's real, and this and that. So we kind of seen this before, but at the same time, I think it's a work. I don't think it's real. I think that
what is
it's
this?
one of the gods intervening on the behalf of Khonshu. We had that lady god that was talking to Khonshu and the other one.
Hathor, yeah.
Maybe that's an intervention of Hathor or somebody, as one of the gods.
Or perhaps that hippo god was one of the statues, and this is where all the gods get sent.
When they're banished.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So, things get crazy. You see that he's chained to his wheelchair, just like he was chained to his bed. He starts to freak out. He runs. He runs across the room with a sarcophagus banging, opens it up. It's him. It's Stephen Grant. Stephen Grant pops out. So now there's two Oscar Isaacs. There's a Mark Spector, Stephen Grant. Separated. They're running. They're trying to get out of there. They run by another room with another sarcophagus with it shaking. Somebody's in there. They do not open that one. They continue, and as they're running, the doors open, and there's a giant hippo god, and they scream, and she has a girl's voice, female voice. She just goes, hi. And it's crazy, right? And it ends right there. Also, a lot of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest vibes I liked in this back half. I appreciated it. So, is this another layer of not real? While we were watching real, and this isn't real? Is this Mark?
It's not real because he's not going to be seeing a hippo.
Okay. I guess that's a giveaway. But is Mark remixing reality, or is one of the gods remixing reality? Is this how he's trying to fight Arthur Harrow? Also, the detail of Arthur Harrow's office is that same room he was in when he was like, oh, I'm going to die in a magician's man cave. It's the same room, just painted white. He's wearing the sandals. He's got the cane. Like, you see the Egyptian statues. You see the postcards. You see all these little clues everywhere. It's very cool. You see the gold statue guy. You see Donna. Like, I loved how they did that. And I'm like, this is like Cuckoo's Nest. What's real, Anthony?
Yeah, I think this is a swerve. I agree with Ruggs. And I think most of the internet's thinking this is a swerve in that it's just a test. And he's been... As the avatar of Khonshu, I think he's been put into this mental test when he got shot of this purgatory, and he's got to figure out a way to get out of it. And it might be like something where he has to mentally deal and come to grips with the numerous personalities he has. And I think perhaps part of that coming to grips with that is dealing with that third personality. So perhaps this next episode is him dealing with that third personality in this world.
There's only 2 episodes left. I still want Jake Lockley to be like the bad guy, like the actual villain.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool if the villain, one of the villains, was his personality.
Yeah. No, that would be great, and that maybe Arthur was trying to help him. So that hippo god is the god Taweret. There was a brief mention in the beginning of the series. They had Taweret plush dolls in the gift shop, but she is the god of fertility, regeneration. Perhaps she is the one who brings Khonshu back, or brings like Mark. So was Mark actually shot
that
twice?
Makes, that already makes sense, right? Yeah. She's the god of regeneration. Yeah. He needs to come back.
She's gonna have to fix his shootings, his shot holes, his bullet holes. I mean, he was shot twice, or was he?
Well, there's a lot he has. I mentioned Jake Lockley, but there's a lot he has to deal with, like before he can move forward. He's got that. He just admitted that's the last thing he has to deal with, because he just inadvertently had to admit to Layla that he was involved in her dad's shooting.
Yeah.
He had to admit to Layla that why he's hiding from her is because of Khonshu. But again, that last thing he has to confront is that thing that's in that coffin that they don't want to confront.
Yeah.
Were you when you saw this, were you like, yes, I told you that
I knew this shit. But then at the end, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Once you see that hippo, you're like, and the 2 Stevens, the 2 Oscar Isaacs.
There's 2 Stevens. Even
that gives it away.
Harrow's office is a little too It's too crazy.
There's no way that that's real.
Yeah.
So you have to think about what is real. So
Israel. What does Israel have to do with this?
What does Israel have to do
Leave
with this?
the Israelites out of
Are
this.
they going to use their weapons? The thing is, you think about what is real. So is Stephen shot? Is he mortally wounded? He fell into obviously a shallow puddle.
Yeah, it was a shallow puddle.
What's happening in reality while this is going on in his head? What has to happen? He can't die, obviously, right? So I feel
Can't die. Yeah.
something has to either intervene or this whole him getting shot never happened, because everything that we're looking at is completely bullshit.
How
Everything.
fractured is his mind? Is it him doing this and inceptioning himself to protect? I don't know. Oh, it was crazy. It was a great twist. I did love the twist. And if you have read any Moon Knight comics, there is a run from Jeff Lemire in 2016. You would have saw this coming. That run starts where this episode ends. It starts with him in a mental institute, and that dude Crawley, the gold statue guy, is there, and he's been convinced that his Moon Knight persona has been made up in his head. Oh, I love how he has a little action figure of Moon Knight also, which is kind of strange. But just everything.
Someone pointed out on screen, I think it was Screen Crush, pointed out that if you look closely, that is a Skeletor.
Oh, it's a painted Skeletor
white,
He-Man? Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. There's another crazy Easter egg. Layla in the mental institute, she's got a Band-Aid on her finger. On the Band-Aid is a drawing of a scarab in red. There is a character named the Scarlet Scarab that was an Egyptian guy, I think named Abdullah something. Maybe it was her father. Maybe she's going to be him. I don't know why there's a little scarab on her Band-Aid. But
she's the little scarab.
She's that's what he called her. But I like the twist. Ruggs, what do you think of the twist? So episode 4s of these shows, if you go back, look at them, something crazy always happens in the episode 4. This one I think is the craziest out of all.
I think that they were kind of working their way to a climax in the actual reality or perceived reality of the show. And now twisting it this way is kind of subverting expectations and prolonging the climax, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have to burp.
You buy yourself 2 more episodes by doing that.
Yeah, so they basically pump the brakes so they can tie up some loose ends, hopefully, and then finish big with the reveal of the third personality and how that's going to basically tie everything together. Right now, they left a lot of these things unanswered, and then all of a sudden, this guy's going to spring forward, and you're going, oh, and you're going to have that feeling, kind of almost like a Tyler Durden feeling, where you're like, oh, everything that's been happening has been orchestrated by this personality.
But I feel like they did the same thing again, where we liked how they were setting up the bad guy and the good guy at once instead of pulling like they did on Hawkeye, and you put Kingpin at the very end. But now they've kind of done that. They've given us clues about this third personality. We don't even know if his name's going to be Jake Lockley yet. There's no clue to say that, but there is a third personality. And now this is the bad guy. They did it again. They pulled in the bad guy at the last. But these next 2 episodes must be about this third personality.
It could be that. It could be that. It also, if I'm just thinking about the clues through the episodes, Harrow's consistently said that he's a fractured man.
Yeah.
He's got chaos inside him. So a lot of that, when they say that stuff, I tend to think, okay, for him to have to defeat Harrow and potentially Amet, he needs to get his shit together.
He needs to fix himself.
So he needs to confront the fractured personalities, the chaos inside him, and get it going in the right direction so that he can beat the bad guy. So that could be another angle to this, is he's got to just, perhaps the Lockley character is brutal, but it's also something that he can use. He can point in the right direction, similar to Godzilla versus Space Godzilla in 1995.
Godzilla.
They pointed Godzilla in the right direction. Just got him to kill Space Godzilla.
Yeah, just got the weapon. You just got to point him in the right way.
You just got to point the weapon in the right way.
Just
right
look
way.
at that and anything in front of you and knock it down.
Yeah, just go that way. There's something over there.
You know, that is a very good point, and I think with 2 episodes left, you can do one episode where he has to confront his fractured mind space, and once he gets that shit under control, you got one more episode for him to be badass Moon Knight and come back and take care of everything, right? That
I mean, if you were writing this on paper, the next episode would be him getting out of that mind thing, and then the last episode would be, okay, now you got to stop. They're gonna get Ahmed out, so you got to stop him, or you got to beat Ahmed,
or you got to beat Ahmed, or become, and maybe Khonshu comes back. Oh man,
and that predictability isn't the worst thing in the world.
No,
as long as they execute it well.
Yeah. They have to deliver.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, because I like that.
But we're not running into this, at least in this series, and we've said this before, but we're not running into we still have 2 episodes left, but it doesn't feel like, I've already laid out the things they can accomplish and tie this up in a bow.
It's not like it's too many things.
No, it's not like Falcon and Winter Soldier where you rolled in, or even WandaVision where you rolled into those last episodes and you're like, there's no closure on 5 items right now.
They left a lot of shit hanging because it was going to connect to other things, and I kind of like that they don't need this to connect to the next movie or the next thing.
Yeah, it's so far, Egypt has not been visited at all in the MCU, so they don't need to connect to anything.
A little connection would be nice, but I'm glad it's not being shoehorned.
Yeah, with I forgot her name is
Hathor? Khonshu?
Sarah Carter or whatever Carter. Sandra Carter. What's her
Sharon.
name?
Oh,
Sharon
Power
Carter.
Broker? Yeah, there was that.
John Connor. Sarah Connor.
John Connor.
I'm looking for Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
Come with me if you want to live.
Power Broker, Sharon Carter is still out there or something.
Yes, so that could probably,
if all that shit is real.
If they wanted to work her in, they could, but I don't think they need to. They have an opportunity to make a nice, clean ending. I'm looking forward to that. I hope they don't bungle it up, but does it bother you that, like, there's a kind of split on who likes the show, who doesn't like the show?
Oh, well, we'll get into some of that from News from the Nation. Mostly it is, some people, it is interesting. Some people are not digging it, and a lot of people are loving it.
I feel like it's not a great superhero show, but it's a good TV show.
It's a good, adventure.
I would agree with that. There hasn't been, there has been like superhero-y aspects of it, but that, I don't think that's been the focus. So I agree with that. I think it's a good TV show. As far as like making me want to put on a cape and stuff and do that, this wouldn't be the first show I'd watch, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, like you just think that a superhero show has to be like action in it, action oriented, and
maybe a little more with the guy who's in the suit,
like action first, more plot driven, things happening. This has got different things that can be entertaining. It's got, it has an opportunity for Oscar Isaac to act, obviously. And it's got some fun historical beats, and I find it to be interesting.
And just the showing of the dissociative identity disorder. That's interesting.
Well, it's like a Fight Club, Memento, Indiana Jones with
it's a lot of things wrapped in here.
Yeah, it's like a fucking The Mummy meets a mindfuck movie. Keeps you guessing.
They've got material there that they can have fun with. And again, I've mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but we haven't seen a lot of protagonists with multiple personalities, so that's different.
Who is the bad guy here, though, right now? Do we even still know? We kind of don't. I don't know.
Harrow's been established as a bad guy, but
is that too obvious, though?
We'll see.
I think Harrow's real? You think Harrow's the bad guy?
Harrow's a bad guy because they purposely did the shot where he just killed that person, picks up his cane, I think, or whatever, or the scarab, and he just kills them without even judging.
But so in the Mental Institute, this version, I love Ethan Hawke with the mustache is also fantastic. I love that he has a mustache, but this guy's gentler. Like, who's making him this gentle? He's like, don't hurt him, please don't hurt him. He's trying to help him. And so I'm like, but what perspective is making this reality where they made him someone who's trying? I don't know. It's very weird. The whole thing is so crazy.
Well, what would be the best ending?
Maybe that Harrow was trying to help Mark this whole time, and somebody else is the bad guy. I don't know. But
what if, let's do this parallel thing. The whole time, Harrow's trying to free Amit. The whole time, Mark Spector is keeping in Lockley or whatever. Maybe they're one and the same.
Is Lockley in control now after he got shot?
No, I think that maybe
in reality,
if you want to try and extrapolate this, maybe Mark Spector's going to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist is trying to bring out this in his mind is the personality that is the judge. You know?
Yeah.
This, you know, and he wants to keep him inside. He wants to stop him from doing it.
I'm also curious if Lockley has a yet another costume. It's like, because Steven has a costume. Mark had his own suit. Does this third personality have their own different suit? Or have we already seen it and we just didn't know? I don't know. So many questions.
Or maybe they go full Fight Club and Harrow is actually Lockley.
Oh, shit. What the fuck?
That's kind of what I was alluding
to.
Where he's just he's been battling himself this whole time.
Lockley like makes Harrow
like Tyler Durden.
Yeah, to get himself out. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
But that'd be crazy. But I think a lot of people, if enough people have interacted with Harrow, where I don't know if that's probable or if that would make sense.
Oh, that's a good point because you'd have to explain that wasn't him.
Because you'd have to you can watch back Fight Club or like Sixth Sense and know that character actually wasn't really interacting with anyone.
Yeah,
but
it's all there.
I mean, anything's possible with the way they've set it up.
I think they're going to go way more conventional, but I was trying to think of writers intentionally sometimes try and draw parallels to characters that aren't really there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at it that way and go, oh, that's interesting. And kind of, that's what all the nerds are doing. You know, they're sitting there making up stupid things or trying to draw these conclusions that are probably wrong. It's great.
That's what Imran's been doing.
That's what this whole show is. That's what we've been doing for 7 years. I like this other.
He's been thinking of things that are probably wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything I know.
We're always wrong, and that's what's great about our show.
None of this is real, listener. This is all in your head. Everything I know is wrong. I like this other detail. There's this article that mentions Oscar Isaac's younger brother, Michael Benjamin Hernandez, has been used in this production as Oscar Isaac's body double. And where he's playing the altar, like the back of him, we probably saw. They used makeup and prosthetics and some physical training to make him look just like Oscar Isaac. And his version of Mark Spector had a code name on the set. They would call him Mork Sphincter, which I thought was pretty funny. That there's Mork Sphincter running around. But so sometimes you're seeing Oscar Isaac's brother, actually, the back of his head. Where would you guys rank this right now amongst the other Disney Plus shows with these 4 episodes?
I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's tough to say because, again, it hasn't finished.
Yeah.
I would say third. I would say WandaVision and Loki still better just because those shows have played out.
Yeah.
But this could go up to number 1.
This could jump. I feel the same way. Like, it's definitely up there so far with the intrigue. But this one, I love that it's just you get so many questions every episode.
It's in the top 3.
Yeah. Okay.
I definitely like it better. You know, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, is the worst.
Nobody likes that show. I don't know why. I mean, I guess
Hawkeye is just kind of dessert. You know, What If is What If, and then you have the other 2 that were pretty solid.
Yeah. What if episode 4 was the Doctor Strange episode?
Oh, okay. That was a good episode.
Yeah. So all these, if you look back, all episodes.
What was Falcon and Winter Soldier's 4 when he kills the guy with the shield?
Yep. Yeah. That's the 4th. The 4th episode always ends with something crazy in these shows, which is kind of interesting. So again, a little bit of a formula still in place, but this got me so many questions. Let's find out what the listeners in the group thought. Here's some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It
Thanks.
You always got to love the rapid fire farts.
Oh yeah, the machine gun one.
Yeah.
Those are special.
Yeah.
They make me feel like Rambo. On my asshole.
Yeah.
My asshole's Rambo. This episode, Chris Marin wrote, loved it. What the fuck? But loved it. That's kind of how I felt at the end. I was like, wow, what the fuck? But I really liked it. Jamie Robinson says, this was my favorite episode so far. Do Steven and Mark get locked inside a sarcophagus every time Jake comes out? Is that why they don't know that he exists? They are both present for each other's use of the body, but neither of them know about Jake. Is it because they're usually locked up and don't get to experience what he's doing? I am very interested now. He has a lot of questions, just like me. Jesse Rodriguez, this episode was fantastic. Feels like we're jumping into some of the Jeff Lemire run, or Lemire. So I don't know. I haven't read that. I thought I had read that, but I don't know what happens in that episode, in that run. So I don't know where this is going, and they're going to change things. Also, I love, did you see the girl was drawing she was drawing a hummingbird with Khonshu's head? It was all there. That's real. David Zika, very good series. A little disappointed that we haven't seen much of the superhero costume or gotten any insight into his powers, etc. That's what we're just saying. I think that's a valid point. There's not a lot of Moon Knight in the Moon Knight suit in the show.
Not really, no.
Right?
Not much of a superhero show.
There's a lot of Oscar Isaac and a lot of Stephen Grant, but not. I would like to see a little bit more Moon Knight too. Okay, that was all the comments from the show. Justin Zwerner, he's trying to make up for a new question from last week. Remember last week when I was mean and I told him to come up with? I didn't mean that. I was mean. I'm sorry. I gotta apologize. But Justin Zwerner is a good sport. He gives us another question. He says, another would you rather. Hopefully you guys like this one more than the last one. Would you rather have Iron Man armor, your choice of which one, or a Green Lantern power ring? And then he finishes, of course, by saying, and as always, all hail King Imran. Jogging nerd. Thank you, Justin Zwerner. This is a great question. This is a much better question. A lot more possibilities here.
Okay, let's hear it.
You guys, the possibilities?
Well, no, let's hear what the...
Okay.
You us first or
you guys,
the
you guys
people?
think about it. Here's what the people had to say. Kelsey Carter says, Iron Man armor. So we got to vote for Iron Man armor. John Campbell, Detective John Kimball says, nanotech Iron Man armor. My constructs with the ring would just be farts and dick jokes. Okay.
Sounds about right.
Those his limitations. Matt Delhauer has thought about this. He says the ring. Had a discussion recently with a friend about the Green Lantern power set and how a big part of the Green Lantern stories, especially the movie, is how they aren't as powerful because they don't believe in themselves enough. So their willpower falters. Meanwhile, if an alien race not only revealed itself to me, but in its death gifted me a power ring and said, I choose me and all I need to do is believe and imagine it will create things for me, I would be so into myself from the drop, is what he says. So that's a great argument for the ring. Alice McPike says the rescue armor, but mostly because then I win a bet. I don't know what that means. John Bellotti Jr. says, I posed this question. Of course, he doesn't answer the question. He gives us another question. Would you rather have Iron Man's drinking problem or Hal Jordan's murderous rage after Coast City was wiped out? Okay, we'll deal with that one later. Justin Zwerner himself answers his own question. I'd take the ring. The only limit is your imagination. Hell yeah, sign me up. I'm leading with the ring. I think there's a lot more possibilities with this ring that can make whatever you want. You just have to believe in yourself. Now, that can be hard, but I think you'd get good practice. You practice, you get good at it. Ruggs?
It is a tough question. I would say...
What are the pros of Iron Man armor? You could do a lot of cool stuff.
I mean, Iron Man armor is like whatever you need it to be. And
Sure.
it's just like the ring is whatever you need it to be.
Oh, that's true.
And Tony Stark's armor has like no limits. It always does whatever it needs to do. It makes Iron Man super powerful. In the movies, it's a little bit more practical. In the comics, it's a little bit more crazy. But yeah, he can pretty much do whatever he wants with that armor. And I just think it's cool to have armor.
Yeah.
But the ring is tempting because you could literally create anything you want. But then you know it's fake. I don't know. It's nothing that you create is actually lasts.
It's not. It doesn't last, and you have to sustain the will to keep it materialized.
I think it would be you'd be more powerful with the ring, but I think you'd have more fun being Iron Man and in having that armor that does everything, that talks to you when you're lonely.
Right.
You know,
it can drive you home. It can fly you home.
Yeah.
Because the ring, all that shit is fleeting, isn't it? Eventually, it'll disappear.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Anthony.
I initially was with the ring because the ring you can create anything. The willpower thing is a good point because at some point things aren't going to go your way. Yeah. And then when things aren't going your way, how much will do you have to? How much does that really affect your willpower and you willing things to happen?
It's a finite source.
The ring.
The willpower is
also. If I misplace that ring,
oh, you're fucked then.
I'm fucked.
And you got to charge it.
You got to plug it into the USB cord.
You might as well have Iron Man armor.
The Iron Man armor, you could wear that Iron Man armor like Tony does in Endgame or in Endgame or in Infinity War. You can just wear it as a suit, kind of,
and it just goes.
And if you wear the if you have the nanotech version, it's basically the ring because the nanotech version in the comics is controlled also by his mind, and you can create whatever you want.
Fucking good point.
So, based on those two things, and it's not controlled by your will, I think I was going to go with the ring, but because of the fact that I don't want to misplace the ring. And it's harder. It's easier to lose the ring than it is with the armor. I'm going to go with the armor, but I would wear the armor. I would still have the armor, but show my face because I want people to know what's underneath.
So you wouldn't helmet up all the way.
I wouldn't always helmet up. That was the only concern. Is with the ring, I don't want to wear that domino mask.
Oh, you got that mask got to come on. You wear that goofy ass CG suit.
Yeah,
changes. You can. I guess you can.
I mean, for you, Imran, I feel like you'd want the armor because if you throw on that ring and you got to wear that CGI suit,
it's not going to look good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look like what was that?
It's not going to do you any.
I'm gonna look.
favors.
What was that one lantern? The alien dude, Kilowog. I'm gonna look like Kilowog.
Yeah, but Kilowog was like,
but he
husky.
He
buff.
was. I'm just doughy.
You got a shape.
Yeah, I'm just doughy, pear-shaped, round in the middle. You know what? Big surprise. I'm flip-flopping. Give me the armor. Because you guys made very good arguments for the nano. Give me the nanotech armor that responds to your thoughts.
Yeah, I think everyone was quick to go with the ring, but then you got to think about it. You got to sustain it, and the stuff is not forever. And you have your limit is your imagination. Yeah. So if you're not that creative,
if you don't have a good imagination, you're just making fucking dicks and parts.
Yeah,
like John Campbell. Yeah. So, man, all right, that's a great question, Justin Zwerner. Keep them coming. We'll do another one next week. Let's finish up with some what.
Wait, do we want to address Bilatti's question real quick?
Oh, Bilatti's question. Yes, Iron Man's drinking problem. Or Hal Jordan's murderous rage after Coast City was wiped out. That's when he became the fucking bad Hal Jordan, right?
Parallax.
Yeah. Parallax, right.
Parallax
That's right.
Infected him.
Yeah, he became Parallax. I don't know. Anthony, what would you have?
I feel like this is pretty easy.
You don't want a drinking problem.
I already have a drinking problem.
I think the drinking problem is much more acceptable in society than to go on murderous rages. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a good question, Bilotti.
Your liver's going to hurt.
Who wants to have a murderous rage?
Yeah.
Murderous rage can be impressive, though, but it just causes problems.
Yeah. I don't know the long-term prospects of either, but I know a murderous rage definitely puts you in a place you don't want to be.
Puts a target
It'll
on
cause
your
you
back.
to have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
There are plenty of functioning alcoholics.
That's a good point. We're going to stick with the toast.
I don't know if there are functioning
murderous ragers.
Psychopaths.
That have fully, assimilated into society. It's hard. Yeah, we're all going to go with Iron Man's drinking problem. Easy one. But good side question, Bilotti, while dodging the initial question. Good work. Another solid troll by Bilotti.
Yeah.
He's good at that. What are we watching, Anthony? What are you watching this week?
I've watched both. I'm still on my 80s kick.
Nice.
So I've watched Lethal Weapon 1 and Lethal Weapon 2.
Shit.
I've seen those movies before, but I watched them again. Those will both probably make the tournament for what it's worth. And I think, hot take, I think Lethal Weapon 2 is better. Is more fun than Lethal Weapon 1.
I've heard that. No, I've heard that from people.
Oh, wow.
I think a lot of people probably, there's debate about that. And by the time this episode airs, I will have finished. I'm halfway through Rambo 2 First Blood.
Oh, man.
First Blood Part 2.
That one reminds me of growing up in the 80s. That was a childhood favorite. There was a cartoon. There was toys. It was R-rated. Was it PG-13, that second one?
Oh, no.
It was R-rated.
He's got a great
R-rated.
speech at the end of that one, too.
Can't wait. Can't wait for his speech. I stopped it at the point where I threw it on late, and I was like, I gotta pause this because it's getting real late. But I stopped it at the point where he is caught by the Vietnam people, and the Russians are about to interrogate him, and the bad Russian is actually the bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop too, Victor Maitland.
Oh yeah. Did he? Doesn't he like hide in the mud at one point in this one? Did he do that yet?
He's already crawled through some mud, but he hasn't hidden in the mud just yet.
I thought that, there's that scene where he's
not quite there yet.
He's in the mud, There's fucking...
And this is the first time I've seen this movie in its entirety. So.
That is an 80s fucking movie. I mean, it's prime 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of would want to watch that one over again, because I think I may have seen that... I could have seen it in the theater. I just remember that movie vividly before even the first one. I think.
Oh, that's the movie. When anyone thinks of Rambo, that's the one they think of.
Right? Because I remember it being confusing because like it's called Rambo First Blood Part 2, and you're like, what was the first Rambo? There was no first Rambo.
Yeah, right.
And then it just became Rambo. All right. Oh man, good 80s run. Ruggs, what do you got? Anything fun?
Oh, I watched Pacific Rim: The Black,
right?
The animated series on Netflix. I watched the whole thing.
Oh yeah, because last week I think you had just gone through.
Couple episodes.
Right. Okay, it's good.
No,
it's not. No,
lame. It's the problem is it does something that I find really annoying is when they just do things because it's written that they do them, not because it makes any sense. And for example, you're in a Jaeger. It's a giant fucking robot with weapons. You can do tons of shit. You could throw rocks. All right. At a certain point in time, there's these like humans that are kind of controlling the kaiju, and they're in plain sight. And I'm like, just kill the humans and the kaiju will go away. They're right there. Just throw a rock at them. That's all you got to do. Knock the kaiju onto them. Like, they just sit there and let them do it. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of like, why are you can solve this problem immediately. This isn't a no-brainer. Like, how come you're so dumb that you don't do the obvious thing? And I'm sitting there yelling. And the second thing that I hated about this, so there was a lot of that, like, yeah, they could obviously solve this problem in like 1 minute, but they just choose to just do the dumbest thing.
Wow.
Like, for example, they're running at the very end. I'm rooting it for everyone, but you're not going to watch it. So the whole entire thing is they're trying to get to this base, right? For safety. There's a bunch of kaiju chasing this one Jaeger. And the base doesn't know that they're coming. They're coming out of like this thing called the Black, which is like this zone that nothing ever good comes out of. And so they're running, and they finally they're in range to like speak to them and radio them. And instead of saying anything that's going to help, they're like, "Hey, we need help." And they're like, "Well, we shouldn't trust this because it's coming out of the Black." And then like, I'm like, "No, that's all you're going to say. We need help." You're like, you don't say like, "Hey,
tell them why."
Yeah, like they're there. They know people at the base. It could be like, "Hey, I know somebody at the base. Help me." They just say that one line, and then they're like, "No, let's fire on them because we can't trust it." I'm like, what? What the fuck is going on in this show? So there's that. So it drove me crazy that the writing was like to that level where you're just like, this doesn't. The first thing I would do is the minute I got onto the radio, I would spill my guts about everything that's happening, so they would help me. Then the second thing that really drove me nuts, besides that, was there was this one other plot point where one of them is trying to protect another one of them that might be evil, right? Or might be like on the wrong side. And they just keep arguing about this one person over and over again. And like they've literally beat this horse dead like 1,000 times. And instead of anything cool happening, they're just sitting there arguing over this character and what they should do about it. And I'm like, just fucking do something. Make a decision and stick to it, and let's fucking move on. So it was like those two things hampered that show. There was like the one character that they couldn't decide whether to help or not, and they kept on going back to that, and the fact that like they had the most stupid writing that you could ever imagine.
Right, so it's a pass.
I mean, yeah, it has so much potential. They're not going to make another one. It's done, but like, yeah, they blew it on that one big time.
You blew it.
They really did, because the Jaeger was cool, and like the idea was cool, and some of the stuff that they built into it was cool. Like they had like these hybrids, like interesting shit.
Did you watch the Halo? You were watching the Halo?
I'm liking Halo.
Dude.
It's growing on me.
This last episode had this incredible fucking action scene that was like almost 10 minutes. It finally looked like the game and shit, right?
Oh, it was. I had a huge geek boner for it.
It was geek boner. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm digging
that
it.
one scene though is just all you need to watch.
Yeah,
watch the rest of the show.
The story is pretty good too. Like I'm still interested. Sometimes they go to characters that I don't really give a shit about and stuff.
Right. They do have that weakness as well, but I think that it's still interesting enough. Like, I can't stand that character from Madrigal.
Oh, the girl, Quan? Yeah.
She fucking sucks.
Like, I don't know
she
what the point of her is anymore, and her whole story. Like,
no, I don't give a fuck about her at all. Like, there's so much more interest. Like, who cares if this kid from a planet that got, like, who cares about, like, just give me one reason to care about this character.
The way more interesting thing is Master Chief and his memories and the fact that, like, these people were there when he was a kid.
You got Alien Girl with the worms.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fucking interesting.
She's
What's up with that about?
She's trying to infiltrate, yes.
You got fucking the crazy mom scientist who's fucking
Halsey.
She is evil as fuck. All right, like she doesn't give a fuck about she's fucking doesn't give a fuck about anything. She just wants her shit.
Yeah,
she wants all the tech.
Yeah,
she wants everything to go her way.
Yeah,
and then you got Master Chief, who's like this dude who was like large and in charge, and now like
he's caught in the middle of all this shit now.
And they fucking throw this thing inside of his head, that Cortana.
Yep.
And he's just like trying to deal with the fact that there's something like there to like almost rein him in.
She could shut him down whenever she wants to. I was like, oh fuck.
So I'm like, oh, there's some stuff happening here that's kind of interesting and fun, and like the action sequences when they do happen are pretty legit.
It was pretty good. That just watch the last 10 minutes of episode 5. It's fucking fantastic. I'm gonna go back.
You had to wait 5 episodes to get to it.
You did have to wait.
But it was fucking worth every second, because I was just like, I was reliving like the year 2000.
Right. It was just like the game. He's jumping on the warthog. They're manning the guns. The shit's getting bought. It was amazing.
The Needler.
Yes.
The fucking ghosts in the air.
Yes. All the other Covenant aliens, like the grunts and the other things.
Yeah, those guys were in there.
Everybody was there. It was
guys
amazing.
with the shields.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
fucking great.
Yeah.
What else you watch? Anything else?
And I watched a movie on Netflix because I was doing something. I needed to put something I could just listen to. And usually, it's like, some kind of a comedy or a sitcom or something that's just like dialogue oriented. And so I put this Metal Lords on, which is a movie.
I saw this on Netflix.
It's like about teenagers who started a band. It's very much like School of Rock.
Takes place at present time, like contemporary time?
Yeah, it does, and it's really bad.
It's bad. It looked kind of fun. It's really bad. It's apparently these friends trying to form a heavy metal band with a cellist.
Yeah,
and there's a cellist.
It just feels like it doesn't feel like a real movie.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Again, when you watch a movie, and you're like, "Is this a real movie?"
See, this is the problem with Netflix. You're putting shit out, and people don't think it's a real movie.
And like, sometimes it just doesn't feel like a real movie. Sometimes it feels like a very half-baked movie. Like, it's not quite a movie. It's just like, you're like, I don't know. Is this a real movie? I don't even know. Like, it pretends to be a movie. It was fine. I'm sure somebody, they had like fucking Tom Morello involved.
Oh, really?
It has like a huge pedigree of people that are involved.
Joe Manganiello's in it.
Yes, he's in it.
See, he's just as good as Frank
So
Grillo.
I guess it's a movie and it could be enjoyable. I guess it's really not that good though. To be honest,
All right.
the song at the end is kind of okay.
School of Rock is a fantastic movie. Jack Black, you've seen that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's good.
I go watch, every time it's on, I'll keep it on. It's very well
This is like a little brother to School of
done.
Rock.
Okay. But that's still probably the better movie.
But yeah.
I watched a bunch of shit. A lot of fun shit out there.
All of it?
I started watching Tokyo Vice on HBO Max.
What's that?
Oh, this is fucking great show. I'm through the first 5 episodes. It's still coming out weekly. It is the story of a journalist, this guy from Columbia, Missouri, who studied Japanese literature and learned.
Based on a true story?
It's based on a true story, based on a book this guy wrote. He learned Japanese, how to talk, how to write it, how to read it. He moves to Tokyo and he becomes a reporter, the first American foreign reporter in like the biggest Japanese newspaper. It's like the biggest newspaper in the world. And he actually reports in Japanese and he's typing his stories. You see him typing in Japanese. He knows how to write. So ultimately, through his relations, he gets involved with the Yakuza and he wants to unravel what's really happening in Tokyo. And so you got great Yakuza gangster drama. You got the press and the news over here. There's also Rachel Keller is in it. Remember from Legion and Fargo? And there's this whole thing about you go to these clubs and the women are there to host you, right? They're your host, but it's not a weird thing. It's like a job. It's like a legit job where you pay money to spend time with a woman and buy a bottle. And so she's got drama there. And Ansel Elgort plays the lead guy. Ken Watanabe is in there as a detective. So it's the drama between the Yakuza, the cops, the press, and then kind of the street level. It's a little slow, but the fucking drama is
there
great.
any violence?
Oh, yes.
So when there is violence and fights break out, does Ken Watanabe say, "Let them fight"?
Yes, no. Well, he's kind of old. He plays an older detective. He hasn't gotten into any hand-to-hand combat yet.
You gotta say at least.
Oh, but it was all shot in Tokyo. Seeing actual Japan and how people live, it seems very authentic, and you really get a sense of Japanese culture and Yakuza culture. So if you like that gangster Yakuza shit,
I find that shit fast,
dude. It's great. It picks up by the last episode 4 and 5 got really good. I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to get through it. So check that out. HBO Max. Also on HBO Max, season 2 of The Flight Attendant with Kaylee Cuoco. Is the first 2 episodes are out. Has anybody watched this? Have you heard of this?
No.
You haven't heard of it? You didn't know what it was about? Flight attendant?
Seems to be about a flight attendant.
This first season is about Kaylee Cuoco, who's a flight attendant, but she's kind of an alcoholic. She drinks a lot. The whole first season of the show starts with her waking up in a strange bed, and there is a dead body that's been murdered next to her. She doesn't know how she got there. She doesn't know who this guy is. Throughout that season, she retreats into this mindscape, and the mindscape is this hotel room, and the dead guy that she can't remember is talking to her, and she starts to form a relationship there as she figures out what happened in real life, right? So the second season is a little bit different. Same thing. She's cleaned up. She's not alcoholic. She stopped drinking, but she works for the CIA, and this time the mindscape is this room where there's multiple versions of her talking to her. So there's a old party version of her. There's a really depressing version of her. So she's got to battle these things.
So she started working for the CIA?
Yes, as an informant, kind of someone to just follow people. And she's still a flight attendant. Rosie Perez also in the show. It's pretty good. It's a lot of fun, and it's great. There's a girl that looks like her that she's following. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. It's a lot of what the fuck is happening, which is a great show. That leads me into the next thing, which is also another great what the fuck is happening show.
Well, I like the first season of this
Russian Doll season 2 released on Netflix. Easy watch. There's about 7 episodes, and they're half an hour long. Both of these shows, the first season were so crazy that I'm I don't know how you make a second season of the show. The first season of Russian Doll, Natasha Lyonne, who's fantastic. She's like a modern day Woody Allen, but just a woman in red hair. Bright red hair. The first season, she gets stuck in a time loop on her birthday, and she dies, and she comes back, and she eventually has to figure out what's going on, how to get out of here. She meets another person who's also stuck in this time loop. They got to figure out how to break it. This season picks up a few years later before her 40th birthday. And now there's a train. She gets on the G train. No,
So she got out of the time
she
loop.
got out of the time loop. She's living her life. All the characters are there. She gets on this, it's not the G train, it's the 6 train. And when she gets off, it's 1982 and she is in the body. She is quantum leaped into the body of her mother, pregnant with her.
Oh, shit.
So in season 2, the train is time is fucking with them in a different way. The train is taking them to different parts of their ancestors' lives, and so it's like quantum leap with some time travel. And they
So
gotta figure out.
every episode she gets on the train and goes to a different area.
Well, and then she comes back and multiple times, and it's not just one time. There's different times. This shit gets crazy. This train,
Wow,
it's
that's pretty crazy.
It's crazy. It's a fucking mind fuck. Also, and some crazy.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, I love it. If you like the first season of Russian Doll, you will like the second
I
season.
thought it was really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That Russian Doll.
Amy Poehler is also producing, and like just the writing is very clever. But I will say the most compelling video TV content drama I watched was on the internet, and I had this on at work today.
Jeez.
And it was the Johnny
Fire that guy.
Depp
Fire this motherfucker.
versus Amber Heard fucking trial.
Oh, shit.
Oh my Lord. This is some wild shit. This is these people's public laundry. They're being aired. They have so much recorded audio of them fighting that they are playing. Johnny Depp is he's been on the stand for like days. She has to go next. And
Ooh,
just
that'll be good.
I can't wait for that. So he is suing her for defamation of character for this Washington Post op-ed from 2018 where she wrote about how he was abusive to her. But so far, what I can tell, first of all, these two people deserve each other. They're both a little crazy. They're both a little just loose, and it's kind of a perfect match. Right now, I feel the whole internet is on Johnny Depp's side. And I kind of am too because
He's been pretty funny in the short clips I've seen.
Yes.
I feel like Johnny Depp's been with a lot of women, and there's never been like this big uproar about him. And now he could be old and becoming crazy, and getting really insecure and batty in his old age. But I've heard that Amber Heard is quite a character. And
oh boy,
their whole. I mean, I've only seen clips, so I'm not going to completely judge everything. But I mean, Johnny Depp's basically been blackballed for a little bit from Hollywood because of this. But the clip where the lawyer asks him, "You had a drink at 7 a.m. or something like that," and he goes, "Why'd you do that?" or something along those lines. He's like, "Isn't every hour happy hour?"
Yeah, he has this happy hour somewhere. He has some solid jokes. Here's a couple.
He does have some solid jokes. He asked the people the lawyer to repeat things a couple times and stuff. It's funny.
He's trying to defend his credibility, obviously.
Well, yeah, he hasn't been able to be in Hollywood since.
Because of that article.
Yeah.
Couple of highlights. Apparently, when he was out of town, his housekeeper took a picture of a pile of feces on his bed. Apparently, Amber Heard took a big dump on his side of the bed.
Maybe she had to really go, and the toilet was being used.
Maybe she did. I saw another, and then in the clip, he talks about how they ask him did you think maybe the dogs did it? He's like, we have teacup Yorkies. I've seen their shit. There's no way it was those dog shit. This was a big shit. But he has said that she, on a trip to Australia, she threw a vodka bottle at him, nearly severed his finger. It sounds like he's never struck her, but she loves throwing shit at him. And some of the audio also made it sound like he was trying to get out of this marriage and trying to end things nicely for both their goods, both their benefit. And she was resistant to this, and she would just come back and wow. Just the fact that this is live for the world, and they're playing these fucking private conversations.
Yeah, I think they're both pieces of work.
Wow. They kind of deserve each other, but holy shit, is it?
Or maybe they don't. That's why this is all happening.
Yeah.
They never deserved each other.
They should have never. It was not gotten together. Yeah. I mean, did you guys see that video? She supplied this video of it's in the morning, and he pours a big bottle of wine, and he's just slamming cabinets and breaking glasses. And then it's like 9 in the morning and he pours this wine in there. But like nobody's ever said he struck her or seen her strike. And he said he would never do that. So fuck, I don't know. I don't know who the abusive one is. They're both a little
seems a little mutual.
Nutty.
Yeah.
Yes. Very mutual. So I can't wait. It's been like 7 days. It's on day 8, this fucking trial. I can't wait till she takes the stand. That's going to be.
Oh, yeah. You know that she's going to be whipping out the tears.
Oh, the tears right away. Right.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, I love the young Johnny Depp, like his work from the early 90s. Edward Scissorhands, fucking What's Eating Gilbert Grape, was he in that? He's done some great fucking movies. What, Amber Heard, she was Mira. I don't really know what else. She's been in a couple of things.
Yeah.
He's a lot older than her, too.
I think he was in a movie with Nicolas Cage.
He's also 22 years older than her.
Yeah, he said that, like, or somebody said his mom or somebody said that she called him old and fat and would constantly berate him. And we're getting one side of the story. I can't wait to hear the other side, but holy shit. I'm like, this is just for free on the internet? This fucking entertainment? This is amazing. Live stream from the court.
Yeah, but she, like, the thing about this is that, and I know that, we're going to hear a bunch of people going, well, when you're in a relationship like that, your abuser is, has control over you or whatever. But this guy was kind of wacky from the get-go, and she still married him.
Yeah.
She, like, married him, I don't know. So I feel like, not that that's an excuse, because it's not, but I mean, like, there is an idea. It's not like there was like, all of a sudden the mask comes off and Johnny Depp is evil. Like it's like if dating Charlie Sheen,
right?
Like, would you date Charlie Sheen?
You know what you're getting into.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that anybody deserves to sign up to be treated crazily like that.
Well, I mean,
saying.
And that's why I also tend to swing more on Depp's side, because he's got to be confident. He's the one who brought this lawsuit, to fix things. So
yeah, he wanted to do it, but then that could be hubris as well.
Sure, yeah. But that's why I always liked his quirkiness. Like, yeah, he's quirky. He said he's never watched any of the Pirates movies. Like, he just took the check. He's never actually watched them. He didn't really care. I don't know. But he's great as Jack Sparrow. I don't know. Fun television. Check it out. All right. That's it for this week, everybody. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter, the now free speech bastion of time.
Elon Musk's Twitter. You don't say.
Yeah, the Muskie version. Really Rug Boy.
Yeah, really Rug Boy. Elon Musk owns Rug Boy's ass now.
That's right.
Find that link in our show notes and everything else we talked about. Links in the show notes, how to support the show, how to get in touch. All the fun stuff is there. jockandnerd.com/432. Share the show. That's the best thing you could do for us, listener. Spread the stupidity. Let's spread the geekery. Text this to your buddy. We'd appreciate it. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Get your hand off my penis!
Whoa!
My balls was hot.
Yeah, I know.
I want your head up when I throw my fist in the air.
Jock and Nerd.